You better get your life. Get your life. Yes, y'all. Come on now, sign up for ifyoucanmove.com. All right, go in and buy some things from Team LASHAE. Get your workout journey going. Y'all know how y'all do. It's about to be January. Y'all gonna have, wants and resolutions and all of that, and then y'all not gonna stick to them. So once y'all start it off right, okay, get y'all some TLC products to clean out all that food and alcohol that y'all drinking. Get you some NutriBurst to replenish you so you don't be out here getting sick and getting a cold. Okay, keep yourself healthy. Try that sea moss that get that phlegm up out you. Okay, y'all go and check out TLC products because they really will help you stay, on track with your journey and aid you in your process. Sign up for Team LASHAE and sign up for the online gym. Go check out and see what my girl got. Y'all know I'm also an affiliate for her boutique, Pasia and Amari, which has really cute workout clothing and jackets and masks and just all kind of cute stuff. So y'all go and check out that link. Sign up on my Patreon so you can be on my Discord. Y'all support in all of these different ways. Check down below in the description box. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video. Oh, me, get you some, okay? Listen, I swear by it. Yes, everyone. Merry Christmas Eve. My chair is creaking. I'm going to get a new chair, you guys, in the new year for sure. All right. But either way, I'm back for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas holiday, whatever you celebrate during this time, even if it's just taking the time off to regroup, because 2020 was a whole situation. Disrespectful. Okay. But we've made it to the end. Okay, it's the final episode of the season finale of America. Okay, at the end of the day. All right, listen, y'all, I'm feeling good. I hope that y'all are feeling good. And let's go ahead and get into Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And hopefully my husband is going to buy me Bailey's because, you guys, I want to see, after I finish doing these videos, I'm going to get into my red onesie and watch Jackie is back and, drink this Bailey's and enjoy my night until I pass out, amongst other things. But yes, let's go ahead and get into it. So Meredith is getting ready for her fashion show, showcasing her jewelry line. And she discusses not wanting to live in Ohio. Who's trying to live in Ohio? Like, get out of here with that shit, Seth. Mary is so happy that they have brought fashion to Salt Lake City because shopping there is the pits. I'm like, we can tell because you always look like you've just thrown anything name brand together because that's what you thought worked. Child, we don't know. It doesn't look good to us. But go ahead, Mary. Continue acting like you know what something fabulous is. Like, just because it's expensive doesn't mean it's fabulous, honey. But go ahead and keep trying. Mary and Jen are seated right next to each other. I almost felt like Meredith must have done that on purpose. Even though she may not have, it just seemed very awkward and weird. There was a moment where Mary, turns and says, "Oh, you look really pretty." I wasn't sure whether she was talking to Jen or Heather, but either way, they both seem to ignore her. I don't know what happened there. It probably was the editing, but so uncomfortable. Whitney models, okay? And I just want to say, just because you're super bubbly and cute in confessionals does not mean that you need to give us, for one, that dead stare model walk. Okay, she looked like she was scared she was going to fall. And then two, those Cruella de Vil eyebrows in the confessional. What was that about, Whitney? I love you. Don't do this. Get those eyebrows together. You already have a very severe shape of eye. We don't need your very severe shape of eye, personality, and eyebrows. On top of that, the dark eyebrows with the wave, with the blonde hair. It was just kind of like, I know we're trying to give Betty Davis and Joan Crawford tease, but pull it back. It looks a little scary. Yeah, her model walk was not it. And she said, "I'm not a model." I'm like, we know. I'm glad you prepared us. That walk. Atrocious. Brooks has created only one jumpsuit. I did not realize that someone can have a fashion show for just one jumpsuit. It's nepotism at its finest. Like, you couldn't create more than one style of sweatshirt and sweatpant? I mean, they've already created it for you. You can do V-neck, you can do crew neck, you can do hoodie. Okay, you can do track pant, you can do jogger, you can do a skinnier jogger, you can do a baggier jogger. Why is it that you can only come up with one? And we're supposed to be so proud of the 21-year-old who can only come up with one design for a tracksuit. As if, like I said, They have not already been created for you. But he's so damn excited about his name. He tramps down the runway, walking slowly as real models jog behind him. Very Tom Cruise. Very make sure that those men get home safe and that no one has locked them in a cage in the basement at Meredith's house. And that no one has locked them in the basement in a cage at Meredith's house so that Brooks will have something to play with while she's gone. So they FaceTime with Seth after it's all over. Seth says, "Oh my God, you guys look interesting," which sounds like shade. Brooks took it as shade. And I will say that I kind of felt the same way that Brooks did. If you're going to miss my fashion show, my very first fashion show, one design, albeit, but still my very first fashion show. This is nepotism at its finest. Why is my father not here? Brooks is really upset about it. And Meredith is feeling guilty because the only reason that Seth is not there is because she asked for space. I don't understand why your husband can't be there for the fashion show because you need space in your emotions and in your marriage. Like, something tells me that when he's home, like, he can probably sleep somewhere else. Y'all already have so much space. You don't live in the same state. Did you really need him not to show up for the fashion shows to support the family? Like, I just kind of felt like that was stupid. And Meredith said that she, feels bad about it in the confessional. But you know what? It's too late. It happened already. The first fashion show already came and went. And Seth was sitting there on FaceTime, probably trying so very hard not to say, well, your mom is the one that didn't want me there, Brooks. So if you want to give somebody a hard time, shoot it over to your BFF. I'm telling you, that man was probably having a really hard time not saying that. Because he was like, this is really uncomfortable for me, Brooks. Because Brooks was like, I feel like I want a father and you're like not there. And I'm like, Brooks, you're like 21, honey. Suck it the fuck up. So you guys, Mary is really weird. Her son comes into town. She complains that he didn't call her the night before. And then she hugs him and says how excited she is that he's there. Okay. Whitney and Heather go to a med spa, and Heather goes on and on about how her Mormon ex-husband takes care of everything financially, and her millions that she's made from her business have literally only been from like Facebook and social media advertisements and nothing else. Like, she hasn't even paid for advertisement with companies and television networks and stuff like that, and she has been extremely successful, and it's just her pocket money. Oh, to be a rich white lady. So Heather continues to cry about feeling caught up in the Mormon religion. She wants to raise her children Mormon because it's what she's always known, but she doesn't live a Mormon life. And in the Mormon religion, if you drink, if you have extramarital affairs, if you are a wife and you get divorced, if you're a single mom, all of these things ostracize you from the church. And Heather feels as if she has always been trying to stay on the fine line of in and out the Mormon church because of her kids. It was so difficult for her. Like, people actually didn't want their kids to play with her kids when she got a divorce. Like, it took really strong character from people to be like, you know what? My kids are friends with Heather's kids. I don't care that they got a divorce. My kids are still going to hang out with Heather's kids. And I feel like that's great. And I'm so glad that Heather had that. But I also feel like, calm down. It's just really ridiculous. Like, how is it that the man wants to divorce his wife and it's her fault? Like, I don't understand staying in systems that make women feel bad just for being. I'm not going to be a part of something. I'm not going to celebrate something. I'm not going to tithe in a religion that tries to make me feel bad about my husband leaving me. Like, get the fuck out of my facial. But she thinks that being alone is better for her kids. I feel like you should be doing what's best for you because a happy mom is best. Okay? Having a mom that's out here miserable and always trying to hide who she really is does not benefit her teenage daughters who need to see a strong woman living in her truth so that they will grow up to be that. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of feel like she needs to look at this from a different perspective. So Jen and her fourth assistant are getting her ready for the day. Okay, she has to get her medication. And we talk about how Jen is on anxiety medication. Everything is about after her father died, after her father died, after her father died. I get it. Okay, I do. But I also feel like she continues to have codependent relationships. And I would like for this grown-ass woman to learn how to self-soothe. So she doesn't have to call her husband throughout the day just so he can calm her down and tell her what she has to do throughout the day. You can't consider yourself the shit or a boss bitch when you can't even self-soothe, as far as I'm concerned. It's great to have your husband there to support you, don't get me wrong. But the way she has to call him just to settle her, it's just, to me, I feel like a sign of her still being codependent and him being away probably as much as possible, as not to have to take on so much of that, because she is lonely, but she's also a lot. Okay, and she was spazzing on everybody before the family had intervention and just told her, you need to get on this damn medication because you are driving everybody crazy. Sharif was about to leave her ass. Okay, so now she's on her medication. She's trying to get her life, which is best, which is great. But ultimately, Jen annoys the shit out of me. Like, you have everything, yet still you want more empathy and sympathy from other people. Like, I feel like that's all this is to me, is feel bad for me, feel sorry for me. Is it just me? It's probably just me. I'm probably being an asshole. I'm sorry. Like, I'm happy that you're talking about dealing with mental health issues and actually taking medication when you need it. I'm happy about that. But at the end of the day, like, I still feel like she's so codependent and obnoxious. Why do you need 4 assistants? What do you do? Anyway, Lisa and her husband spend time with their kids. And Lisa is always coming from the standpoint of business. So coming from the standpoint of business, when you spend time with your kids, you don't talk about their emotions or how they're doing. You want to talk about what their goals are. Everybody in the family writes their goals on a board and we talk about each other's goals. And that is cute. And it is spending time with your kids. But when your husband tells you that I need the focus to be more on our relationship and not business, and you turn around and tell him that you don't need somebody who's going to tell you to pass up on opportunities because you're not going to pass up on any opportunities. When your husband is fucking somebody else, don't act surprised. I'ma just say that. Because I feel like your husband is telling you what he needs, softly I might add you. And you are very aggressively telling him that he needs to shut the fuck up and deal with who you are. And even though I understand as a woman, constantly feeling like, you know, nobody's asking my husband to change his business life to suit our relationship, I get that. But I do feel like both people have to give at one point or another in order for the marriage to continue to be successful. So you're talking all of that shit to Meredith when at the end of the day, you are probably this close from your husband finding somebody else to really take the time that you are too busy to feel. Just saying, Lisa. So Jen, Heather, and Meredith have dinner and they discuss Heather sleeping with the guy from Jen's party. It was very short-lived. He doesn't live in Salt Lake City. So what's she going to do with that? She had some good peen. All is well. Then they get into Meredith and Seth separating. And it seems as if there is some behind the scenes knowledge of what's really going on between Meredith and Seth. I think a lot of us feel like Meredith has somebody else already, just based off of the interaction she's had with Seth. But I think that Jen is going around insinuating it so damn hard that she's basically saying it. She really is, okay? So Meredith doesn't want to give too much information, but something tells me that Meredith gave a lot of information to somebody else. Or maybe she did give it to Jen, I don't know. But on camera, Meredith is not trying to discuss the ins and outs of her marriage. And she just says that they have communication issues and they're trying to work on said communication issues. But she doesn't want to give detail. And Jen, I feel like, is kind of digging and doing the most. When at the end of the day, that lady's marriage has absolutely nothing to do with you and she doesn't owe you any more information than she's willing to give. You're not entitled to the truth about Meredith and Seth's marriage. It's none of your fucking business, Jen. And maybe you should be worrying about what your husband is doing when he's on the phone and not at your house. Okay? Like, I'm just saying, I would be worrying about my own marriage way too much to be all in Meredith's situation, feeling some type of way because she hasn't given you all of the tea on her marriage. So Whitney and her dad spent some time together and they spent time with the kids. And Whitney's so proud of him. He's in sober living now, and she feels like finally my children get to experience my dad as I did when I was growing up before the drug issues. Then her dad tells her that he wants to leave sober living early. He's done that already. And when he left sober living early the last time, he relapsed. So this is not good. Whitney does not want to hear this. This doesn't make her happy. She would prefer for her dad to finish out the time that he's in rehab. I mean, lucky for her, she's not paying for it this time, because it won't be her dime being wasted when he relapses. I just kind of feel like he needs to stay put. I don't know why you're in such a rush to get out of sober living, but you need to stay your ass there until you finish the 90 days. If you couldn't do what you needed to do the first time, you should definitely wait now. Just saying. So Heather talks to her kids. Okay, y'all know her and Whitney talked earlier in the episode about how she feels about being open and honest with her kids about not really wanting to be Mormon. So she talks to her daughters, all beautiful, seemingly smart, well-adjusted young women who are that way because of Heather. And actually, when she explains how she feels like she's been living a double life because she, has been doing things that aren't considered, right under the Mormon religion. It's not even just the fact that she's a divorcee and a single mom. It's also the fact that she drinks and has sex and lives her life. I just kind of feel like I think her kids already know what it is, and they're very supportive of her. And she's so grateful. She cries, and she's so grateful to have such beautiful kids who are so understanding and supportive of her. But I just feel like that's because that's what you've given them, Heather. You have poured into your kids positively, so they can then turn around and be supportive to you, which is always a beautiful thing as far as I'm concerned. So Jen goes over to Whitney so that they can play around on the pole. And of course, Jen is worried about her hair. She has on her Fendi tights. And, she's doing her thing, but nobody is messing with Whitney on that pole, okay? Like, Jen is basically an old grandma on that pole in comparison, okay? So they discuss the husbands, how Whitney and her husband had to go through, an adjustment period. And, just there have always been ups and downs in everybody's relationships. Okay. Jen says that, she's lonely a lot. So it's sometimes hard for her to deal with that. And then the conversation once again works itself into Meredith and Seth's situation. And once again, Jen is insinuating that somebody is getting what they need because they aren't getting it in their relationship. And somebody must be stepping out in the confines of Meredith and Seth's relationship. And I just kind of feel like at this point, you might as well say it, because you've insinuated it and brought it up often enough for us to get the gist. And I feel like Jen is really shitty for this, because obviously Meredith confided in her and she's putting her information on Front Street. That's really fucked up as far as I'm concerned. Really fucked up. And the fact that you're trying to pretend as if you're being a good friend to her by not giving Whitney the details, you're letting her know enough. Girl, Jen is just so obnoxious and so bored. You know what I'm saying, y'all? I also feel like it's more passive-aggressive angst towards Meredith because she won't stop being friends with Mary. Even if she won't admit that, it all just kind of seems hella passive-aggressive. Jen continues to just be a mess from the lips on up. But anyway, you guys, that was Salt Lake City. I hope you guys have a really great Christmas and great holiday. And y'all should check for me on Relax with Blue, because I'll be over there vlogging. And I might come to y'all with, a live Bondy Blue show if something happens before Real Housewives of Potomac. But if not, you guys will see me over here on Real Housewives of Potomac, okay? So I love y'all, and y'all have a Merry Christmas. Mwah.